Hello and welcome back to Loud and Proud Orlando for another live Tuesday night Pride Pod. I'm here with Luis to talk about the win we got at home last week against the San Diego Wave, and then we're going to get into a preview of the Washington Spirit away this Friday night. Luis, how are you, buddy?
Well, doing great. A fantastic win against San Diego Wave, a contender for the title, NWSL title, in my opinion. And we make them look like it was the first year in the league. It was a pretty impressive, dominant performance by the Pride. A lot of positives. I'll say maybe one or two negatives here that we need to kind of tie the knot a little bit, when it comes to the finishing. But overall, I mean, this team is yearning for big things. So the attitude, the mentality is right there, the culture. So I'm super excited for what this Pride team is doing right now, John.
I've got my orange on, Luis. I'm ready to
Uh,
go. I got a new
oh,
orange.
I just noticed. Wow,
Yeah,
that's so
I
cool.
got my orange t-shirt on. I got my orange light on. It's kind of too bright right now for you to tell, but it'll as we get darker in the pod, you'll get more
That's
orange.
awesome.
I
That's
also got one
fantastic.
of the cool new, like
Patches?
yeah, they did well. They did a whole series around like the orange, and it was like the little logo, and it's like an orange holding a flag, and it says Pride on it. Um, you'll bring it up on screen for those who are watching on YouTube. But I'm sure people saw it when it came out. It was like the merch at the match for this game. Super cool. I got the green T-shirt with that guy on. It was really nice. So I think they sold out most of them. So hopefully they'll restock soon. And Paula, she asked me to get her the little patch. So we got
Oh,
her the little patch as well. And then I got the scarf. So I think I'm gonna add the scarf.
man, you're going
Uh,
all out.
I needed some pride stuff for the decks,
Yeah.
like I've got my orange. I've got my pride orange here. Get yourself an orange pride magnet. This thing is cool.
Yeah, I need to get
You
a
got to
pride
get one of
magnet for
these.
sure. Yeah,
So yeah, I need
definitely.
some pride things for the wall, Luis. I can't just have all Orlando City back here.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, look
Thank you.
for adding the pride scarf. But I'm feeling the orange. I was feeling the vibes in this game. It was two very strange jersey combinations, don't you think? Because it was like our orange jersey and then the wave were in that like blue, pinky, like almost looks like a child's kind of drawn it jersey that they were wearing. So it was a lot of nice pastel colors going on during this game.
Yeah, 7,701 in attendance for this game. Slowly but surely, it's filling up the Interco Stadium, so it's pretty impressive.
Did you feel that from the press box? Like, can
Oh
you
yeah,
tell the difference when it feels a little bit more lively? Because this game to me had like a little bit more atmosphere, a little bit more vibe than the other games we've had so far this season at home.
yeah, for sure. I totally agree with you. In this case, I think it was very loud. Um, Also, you had Barbara Banda had some of the Zambian you know people that went to the airport together were also there. But it's looking a little bit more full. I think people are starting to kind of wake up to what this team is doing, and hopefully, we see 8,000 next game. Next home game we need to see 8,000. I mean, the team is doing phenomenal. I mean, and these are young athletes, like very young athletes with a lot of potential, with a lot of youth. And sincerely, I feel like it's this team is destined for big things. Barbara Banda did like a I don't know, like a somersault or something there. She, she came in, she got her debut as well right there, as you guys can see. I feel SofaScore was a little harsh with her. Gave her a 5.7. He was like the lowest rated person on the
She
Pride.
she had like a 6.0 on Foot Mob, and they put down that she missed two
Yeah.
big chances in her time. I don't know if they were like big
Never.
chances. She had a couple chances. Whether they were like stone cold easy chances, it's hard to say. But
Yeah, she definitely looks very imposing physically. So
yeah,
I mean, it's her first game, so I wasn't really expecting, even though I said hopefully she's gonna score a brace or something. I wasn't expecting, for her to just make a huge impact right away. Even though she was soccer ready and match ready to go, I feel like it was good what we saw. And again, Summer Yates and all those young players, like doing it big for the Pride, John.
yeah. I mean, we saw a lineup, Luis, that was the same again. So that back four really.
Correct.
That's where I say the same. The back four was the same. We had Emily Sams and Kylie Strawman center back combo again. I think Kylie Strawman had an excellent game, and this one's really growing into that role. Carrie Abella, I don't know. I saw for score gave Carrie Abella a 6.7. I think she did much better than that. Football rated her a little higher. And
I know, right?
Martinez had a good game as well, and Anna Morehouse with another clean sheet. So we're starting to really look like we've got a solid back line at the moment. And then it was a surprise to see in the D mid. We didn't know. We speculated. Remember, Luis? We were like, "Who's going to be in D mid? Is Luana going to be back?" And then we said, if not Luana, then probably Morgan. But Morgan wasn't in there either. We actually saw Haley. So Haley
Hannah
McCutcheon got a
McCutcheon.
chance. And as I can see here on SofaScore, they never like to update player names when they get married or change their name because Haley McCutcheon is still named Haley Hansen, and that was ages ago.
Yeah.
So, yes. But Haley McCutcheon was in midfield. She had a great game, I think, there. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And then Summer Yates again getting in the lineup. I said that she wasn't going to start because I thought Martha was going to take that 10 position, but they put I don't. It was hard to say where she was starting. Her and Martha switch around a lot. The front three there kind of rotate. So most of the time, I think Summer was in that 10 position though, with Marta out on the wing. And then Ali Watt again getting the start up front, who was again unlucky, I think, not
Right.
to not to score. Luis, just on the lineup quickly before we get into the weeds of the game. Surprises for you. I was surprised to see Haley back in the midfield, but it was a happy surprise because she did so well.
Yeah, I mean, it shows the versatility this team has with Summer Yates on the flank. Not so much dropped as a 10. You see also Haley playing D mid. She's played center back, she's played left back, right back. So that versatility. Also, Brianna Martinez could play D mid. That's another thing you guys don't know, but she also could play D mid. She could play left back. She could play right back. So those are the type of Angelina plays right wing. Also plays in the mid. So I mean, there's so many options. Ali Watt plays also as a on the wings as well. So I mean, it's plug and play for Seb Hines, and he even said it on press conference. The versatility of the team throws off opponents, right? Especially now with the Banda factor, unknown for many. The Banda factor is going to be determined, and also people are going to be bored on marking, maybe double triple marking Banda, opening space for maybe Julie Doyle, opening space for maybe Alex Skur if there's any injuries, or Carrie Bello on the wing. So it's just a lot of I think the next game is going to be the biggest test for them. I think we're facing, to me, the best team in the league right now, Washington. So if they get a good result, I think we're definitely entitled to feel very hopeful for this team, John.
Well, I think we have reason to feel hopeful about that game. I agree that we'll talk a little bit more about Washington coming up, but they are going to be a big problem. But to go back to the Wave, the reason why we have hope for that game is because we just played the Wave, who also are a pretty big team, and Luis, we had 20 shots, 8 on target. 6 big chances. And I can't remember exactly what their stats were, but I'll go look right now. But they were way off. They had 4 total shots, 1 on target, 0 big chances. So that's the one that I find the most interesting. Was I think recently for me in stats is this foot mob, which I like to use. They have this big chances, and that for me I think is a great stat there to show that it's sort of like what you would call, Luis, like obvious goal scoring opportunities. And to create 6 of those against the San Diego Wave and their defense is an incredible achievement. I think the problem is then that we had 5 of those missed chances.
Yeah.
So we're creating these great opportunities, but we're just not able to put the ball in the back of the net like more often than not. And Ali Watt, like when you go in those highlights, Luis, and you see that very first chance that Ali Watt had earlier in the game when she broke through and she has a shot, and Sheridan like makes an incredible save, comes off her line to stop Ali from scoring. It's not like really she did anything wrong there. It's just that's a certain amount of being unlucky. Some of these big chance misses, like the couple that we talked about with Barbara, yeah, maybe she could have done a little better with a shot or a header. And there's a couple examples like that as well for Ali, and then another one for Raf. I mean for apologies for Adriana. So I think we just need to be a little bit more clinical, and that's something we've been saying for how many pods now, Luis? It's like this team is really good, but we just need to take a few more chances. And I think Washington Spirit are definitely going to score one. Like I said, we'll get into that a bit more later. But for that game, we're going to have to score more than one goal, I think, to win it away from home for sure. So I think one goal there is not going to be enough. I mean, maybe it is with our incredible defense, but do you see it that way, Luis? That yes, it's good that we're making lots of chances, but we need to be a little bit more clinical and win games like 3-1 or 2-1 instead of just these 1-0 wins. And that's me being picky because we're winning games. I just think that we could be winning games by more goals.
No, I mean, look at the attack momentum. Like, I mean, it's all. I mean, it was a dominant performance
That
by the
shows it
Orlando
right there,
Pride.
man. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, we had plenty of chances. We created. Summer Yates created chances, and the most impressive thing of it all was the the pressing they were doing in attack. The Pride was, the attacking pressure they were doing to San Diego. It was like they had no chance. Like, I think you know uh, Alex Morgan was ready to go ahead and knit some, a sweater or something, because she had nothing to do. I mean, she was just like bored. She was reading her newspaper or something, checking up her DMs or something. There was nothing coming. Now, with that dominant performance, yes, I think we should have scored a couple more. With a team with a game against Washington, I feel like we need to see again this defensive prowess that the Pride are showing, not only on their back line but also on their attacking third. I mean, the attacking third is dropping and helping out, pressuring, the rivals, right? Making them, turn over the ball, and then they hit him in the counter. So um, I feel hopeful that we going to get a good result against Washington. We just gotta win no matter what against Washington. I'm content with a draw. I'm content with maybe a 1-0 result. I really, as long as we start winning and keep winning, I think that's going to be huge. But yes, I do agree that the finishing needs to be worked on. And we have Barbara Banda now, right? So she's gonna have she's having a couple of more you know practices with the team and getting used to her the players, and also it gives an opportunity for Seb to set up Banda to be that scoring machine, right? That's why they got her for. to score goals. So I think I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful of what's next.
I think so. I think we're started well. It's a great foundation, and like you said, Barbara, etc. We're gonna build on it from here. Um, Defensively, I agree entirely, Luis, and I sent you this just so you could see what I tweeted after the game. I was like we talked about before. I'm not the biggest Alex
Yeah.
Morgan fan, but I just looked on football after the game and saw she got a 5.7. I thought that was kind of hilarious. Whereas Summer Yates brings me on to my next point quite nicely. Another great game for Summer. I think she was like hunting that goal, Louise. The way she just hovered around the box, waiting for a rebound. Just the intelligence that she shows on the play, and another great game from her. I think that she's so confident in the way that she dribbles with the ball, the way that she goes for the 1v1, the way she attacks the other players. And her passing in this game as well was great. She was linking up, laying off balls. Like I think it shows that Seb is willing to put Marta like out to the wing and play Summer in that central attacking mid position, as how valuable I think she can be in this Pride side. I mean, I see that as a big like that's Marta's position. So if they're both being on the field and Seb's gone, okay, Marta, but I want you to go out to the right wing. I think that may be partly because he wants Marta to be a bit more free in the attack, but also that he completely trusts Summer to generate the attacking play and be that central attacking mid. Do you see it that way as well, Luis?
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to add that, tactically, she's such a great player. Like, she's one of those players that coaches just love to have in their squad. I mean, I'm sure, Seb tells her, okay, you're going to be playing maybe first half right there on the 10. You're going to be switching positions with Marta. In the second half, I need you to be on the wing. And she maintains the same level of play regardless on what position she's playing. That's what's most impressive, in my opinion. She's excelling on the wing. She's excelling in the right there as an attacker, scoring goals, and also dropped as a 10. So, I mean, it's very impressive for such a young player that definitely motivated herself in this offseason to be better and be physically ready for this season, right? And also, I do want to add that in this goal, I mean, just look at Carriabello, man. I mean, they had no chance. Like, look at that power
Carrie.
right there.
Bro,
Yeah, she had no.
where I sit, Luis, is like right about around here. So all game, just watching Carrie run up and down the wing, just
Yeah.
dominating. Like she just kills it up and down that wing. And the way that she, for this ball, and the way that she gets up on the left side of the field all the time and gets basically almost in the box a lot of the time. She's
hmm
so aggressive up that left side.
Yeah. I mean, that was impressive. And then, right there, Ali Wad, I mean, she could have, she could have done something, but, she left a rebound for Summer. Summer was right there, positionally perfect, and it was a great goal. She looked for it the whole first half, so I'm glad that she was able to capitalize on it. And actually, talking about sophist score, and since you have FOBMOB, sophist score gave her a 7.38.
I think that's fair.
7.38
I think there's a she was definitely, I think, our best player, and that's
for
what both
sure.
both sides show that. So, uh,
Angelina has also been very constant. I mean, she's had eight performance after eight performance in every game.
talk about versatility as well, Luis. It doesn't
hmm
matter where we put her, the wing, the 10, the mid.
Yeah.
She can do everything, Angelina, and I think she's played pretty much every game. Almost feel like she's probably played most. I have to look up how many minutes we've had on the team, but she's probably up there. She seems to be ever present. Doesn't really get subbed out, and she gets moved around if they need to, right? So I think she has been a real surprise for me this year, just by how good a midfielder she is as well. I knew that she has quality and been in the league, and was looking for a chance to really find somewhere to become like a first team player. And I don't know why. Was it? I think it was OL Rain we got it from. I don't know why they let her go, because she looks like a really, really talented midfielder, I believe, and she's able to take a lot of the weight, I think, off Marta for creating out of the midfield. It's not so much, oh, we just got two D mids who pass it to Martha and then she creates. It's like, okay, now we have someone who is a defensive mid, but she can pick up the ball and she runs forward and she creates the play and she makes a pass. She drives from the D mid and is a creative force in and herself entirely. So it's great to see the team, Luis. Right now, we got so many assets. Like I feel we're flush with quality players, and that's what you were saying about Seb and the opposition. Right? They don't know who we're gonna play. They don't know where we're gonna play them, and we got a lot of tricks up our sleeve. Got a lot
Yeah,
of
for sure.
what's the word? We got a lot of got a lot of things we can use. We got a lot of tricks we can pull
Well,
out to win the game.
yeah, and I would say, and again, I know that I'm probably getting too ahead, but season-ending injury players that we have right here in the roster: Carrie Lawrence, Megan Montefusco, Viviana Villacorta. I mean, if these players keep excelling and they make a huge run in the playoffs, I don't know what the future may be for them. I don't know if Sep's going to continue with those players, depending. I don't know what their contract negotiations are or whatnot. But you know, this is a team that I notice a difference from any other Pride team. The versatility in position is insane. Like, I mean, Brianna playing, everyone can play almost each other's, several positions. And I think that's what's making us very unpredictable, hard to decipher for many of the people that we're facing, some of the teams that we're facing. So even these big teams. So I feel the big test is going to be definitely Washington. Now, I do want to say Kaylin Sheridan had like 7 saves. She had a monster game. She was the best player of San Diego Wave, and that tells you exactly why Orlando clubbered San Diego. I mean, they completely hit hard San Diego in every single line. We just didn't put it away, But Sheridan, my hats off. She had a phenomenal game, and she stopped Orlando for having a couple more.
I mean, she is, I think, obviously one of the best keepers for a reason, and 7 saves overall just shows. I, I agree that some of them were easier than others. I think Barbara perhaps didn't have the best shots on goal. Like the header wasn't super hard for Sheridan to save, and her shot wasn't. It was close to her, so I think that was a better save. But Sheridan is just a quality keeper, and she's also got a lot of size, very physical, large keeper. I was watching her talking to their coach and giving her instructions and things. She was doing a very good job of rushing out off her line at times when needed, to be like a sweeper keeper. So it's the same problem we had, I think, when we played. Who was it, Louise? With the 1-1. And they also have a very good keeper. I'm blanking, but in this league, there are several very good top quality keepers that play for their national teams or play for the U.S. national team, for example, and they're gonna make it difficult for us. So that's where we need that little bit more quality in the finishing. I think too many of our shots are directly at a keeper or not like testing the keepers enough. And that could be said here for Sheridan in this scenario. Like, yes, she had 7 saves, but were we always, forcing her to make incredible saves? No. So that's where we need to be a little bit more clinical and have a little bit better finishing and just really force the goalkeeper to make better saves and force the goalkeeper to actually, you know, try to do more than just stay right here in front of them.
I love how Marta's playing. Also, I do want to add. I think before we relied on Marta not only to be fit but to be that you know DP, right? That star. But now we realize that having everybody around her play as hard as she does, it's letting her play freer. I think more free everywhere. She's staying more fit. She's playing, the right amount of minutes every game, and we have not seen her injured. We've seen her refreshed in every single game with that smile on her face, enjoying playing, having a good time because she knows she trusts her teammates. She trusts Julie carrying the ball, she trusts Summer carrying the ball, Carrie carrying the ball. So, she's not doing any sort of double duty now. Now everybody knows their roles very well. So she can just stick to what she does best, which is creating plays and being Marta, right? So I love that. I think that's one of the also key factors because she's a very detrimental player when it matters, and I think she's going to be. And I will. I think I'm saying I don't know if I'm getting too ahead, but I feel that on the next game because we're facing such a big opponent, um, she's going to be one of the cornerstones if we get a win. I think she's gonna say, "Hey, we're facing Washington. We're facing a really tough team. Let's go, right? We're all in this together." So it's exciting, John, what the Pride are going through right now.
I think it is. I'm very excited, and it's going to be big tests coming up, and we'll get onto that in a second. Anything else, Luis, you want to say on this? I could talk a little bit more about Barbara, but
Mm-hmm.
I believe we were very excited to see Barbara on the field, and
Yeah,
like she came directly on, and there was that like immediate attack we had, and she had that chance, and
yeah,
I thought,
boom,
is
yeah,
this it? Is
uh-huh.
like she's just gonna immediately
Yeah,
score a goal, and it's like Barbara's here, but no,
yeah.
that didn't
And then
happen.
she did that jump. She did that. That's whatever somersault,
She did
whatever it's
like
called.
it's like the ninja spring up, like the
Yeah, like yeah,
like you just throw your
yeah.
body up.
And
She had to
and
do
and I
she's gonna do something cool on her
and
debut.
I'm just gonna say when she did that, the press box, it was not a working press box. They got a little loud.
They went, woo!
Yeah, it was some woo. So no, I'm just
Love it.
joking, guys. No, but it was great to see her. She's gonna be a phenom, man. She's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. It's her first game. I'm not gonna go ahead and just say, "Oh, I'm disappointed," and I'm just gonna say that she did great. I think she's gonna be. She's definitely Seb, and he said that on the post press conference. He's gonna work on set plays for her, so she starts scoring right away, because that's what they brought her. Brought her to the team, and she's just physically imposing. Like she's just physically imposing, and we need to see that more, especially on the set plays. You know. On the 1v1, so she's gonna get to know and get to know to find that glue, right? That gel with her teammates, and then she's gonna succeed them, I have no doubt.
Well, I agree. I think she is. She just needs time, and
Yeah.
I believe we have to say that a lot, Luis, about strikers.
But our time.
But this one, I have more faith in than any of the others. I really think that we saw why we signed her. Like she, just the way the speed that she was attacking at, the dribbling. She just looked a little panicked when she got into the box, like she wasn't
Yeah.
100% sure on what her role was, and that's what you were saying about what Seb said to her, and that she needs to just figure out a little bit more about what
Hmm.
her role is in the team and what she's supposed to be doing as the nine, and then that will all kind of fall into to place. And I'm sure it's also just been a whirlwind for her. Like
Yeah.
don't forget she was with Zambia doing the qualifying for the Olympics, and that was a massive achievement to get that over the line. And now she's come from China and having to leave there and come all the way to the U.S. and settle here and do everything. So it's probably just been an insane amount for her going on. I love her enthusiasm that she wants to play, she wants to start. But I also agree with Seb. I think sometimes with a you want to be like, okay, I know you're ready, but let's figure out what you're gonna do before we just throw you out there, which is smart. And I think we saw
Yeah,
that a little bit when we did throw her out there, that she was a little bit confused as to what she should be doing.
Sept said that she was ready to start, and he stopped her and pretty much said, "Hey, you know what? Look at the first half. I want you to look at the first half. I want you to look at the partnerships. I want you to look at the attacking third, and then I want you to come in on the second half fresh." Because I mean, the first half for Orlando Pride was dominant. It was just like, there was no point of him putting Banda in there. It was just very dominant. So I just like the fact that Seb is allowing her to have that time to kind of, hey, take a breather, come in the second half and try to score a couple, and she almost did. I do want to say that Sheridan was also a great goalkeeper. So,
Yeah,
I
no, it
mean, I
wasn't.
mean, I'm not gonna take that away from her. I mean, yeah, she kind of, you know, her finishing maybe wasn't as good, but Sheridan was also a good goalkeeper. I mean, she was high ranked in this game, so
I
and she was
mean,
having them.
according to the stats, Barbara had 100% shot accuracy. It was a block and a say, like she got dispossessed once apparently. So I don't. It wasn't like she played badly. She had 3 shots in like 29 minutes.
Right.
Not bad.
So we have some comments here from Instagram. Kim Scott says Marta is the heartbeat of this team. I agree completely.
Oh,
I
Luis, that
and
reminds me. In the highlights, you see her like when Marta comes off. There's like a moment where sorry, no, not at the end of the game, where Martha and Barbara are like talking to each other,
yeah,
and Martha's like, next game it's gonna go in the goal, you'll see, it's gonna go in the goal. And I was like,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
like, we're so blessed to have Martha, and that's exactly what Kim Scott is saying. It's those moments where she's like put an arm around Barbara and said, you haven't scored today, but don't worry,
yeah.
it's not
Next
gonna be a
time, yeah,
problem. Yeah.
and that's the cool, and that's it's great to see Marta leading like that. Because before she was, I feel too tied up making the team work. We depended so much on her. Now she has that time too to take a breather also and get composed and then go on to the next game and lead not only from on the pitch but also lead from the bench. When they come and they go into the bench, Marta's right there, rallying them up, saying, hey, great job, hey, keep working on this. So for fantastic work by Seb and Haley on this team for sure. Skydream Productions says the best pride we've ever had. Skydream Production says Abello is something else. That's right. Penn State, right? She was a phenom there. Now
Thank you,
she's
Skydream.
there. You go, Joshua Tall. Let's go, Pride, and let's keep it up. I hope we score a few goals in our next game. There you go, everybody. I really want to encourage everybody, every single Orlando City fan that watches our city pod, to go see the Pride. I mean, it's really like you guys are going to enjoy the atmosphere and the way the team is playing. It's just outstanding. It will give you a different perspective. If you've never seen women's sports, go watch them. Uh, John.
100%. I agree. I think the atmosphere at this one was better than even any other games this year. It's like there's a group of fans that sit around me that I can tell are really hardcore, passionate season ticket members that, just like they are at Orlando City games, that are there to support their team, and it's an exciting time right now for the Pride. I think that I agree with what Skydream says. Best Pride we've ever had. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
the bar was low. The bar was low, Luis. But I think this is this team excites me. It really does. And I think that the addition of Barbara, though it will take some time to figure out how she works in the team, you add that on top of like Hafa coming back and the form that we've
Yeah,
already seen and the continual growth of Summer and Carrie and these other young players and Angelina and Luana coming back when she comes back. We've just got so many like just assets right now, and we look stacked, and we talk about the Washington Spirits, or I guess the KC Current at this moment in time at top of the table. I think that if everything keeps going in the direction it's going, we're definitely going to be a top 1, 2, 3 team this year,
yeah,
without a doubt, based on the fact that even if some of our best players aren't performing, we've got other very good squad players or almost just as good like secondary players to come in and play. Like the Olympics, I don't see us being really hurt too much. Like we're gonna lose the Brazilians, but we've got a lot of other players around those that are gonna be here for the summer, and I think that other teams are gonna lose a lot of their core players, but don't like we will, but don't have the depth that we do. So I'm excited by the Pride this season. I think that we're a real contender. Like honestly, I don't want to get too excited, but I'm too ahead of myself, Louise. But I'm gonna put us in the mix this year. I really am.
yeah, for sure. I mean, we predicted it last season. At the end of the season, we were a little disappointed. By not making the playoffs by like one goal. But this season, we're fifth right now. We're plus two in goal differential. I think that's going to increase now that Banda's here for sure. It looks very promising. And again, the shot heard around the world was this game against San Diego. Now we need to shoot in the air one more time, and we got to do it in Washington. We got to go and face the Spirit, and it's gonna be tough, but I have no doubt that we're gonna keep climbing up, John. I mean, we're only 4 points away from the top seed, so
Yeah, it's
we're
still
we're
early
right
days.
there.
Only 5 games in, Luis. We're still unbeaten. Started with 3 draws. Now we got
Yeah.
2 wins. Let's read a few more comments before we get deep into Washington Spirit and our next big challenge here for the Pride.
I want to say
Joshua
hello.
Tall has
Yeah, go
one
ahead.
there. He says, "What do you think about Ali Watt and Summer Yates?" Luis, your thoughts, and then I'll go after you.
Both of them are great players. I just think Ali Watt, it's more of a winger in my opinion. It's just my opinion. I think she, as a nine, I think that her finishing sometimes is a little bit, you know, I don't know if she doesn't get, her timing maybe a little off right there by finishing the play. But I see that I mean, her speed is just amazing. And then Summer, to me right now, aside of Carriabello, she's been the most consistent player on the squad right now when it comes to just performance. Right now, she became an impact coming off the bench. As a starter, she became super influential. She scored goals, so we're seeing growth every game. She's either a starter or coming off the bench. We're seeing growth, growth, growth. So hopefully, her goal, and I spoke to her on Pro's press conference, was the UN's women's national team. Which if the Pride makes a run in this NWSL this year, we're gonna see some of our players, maybe like a Bello, maybe Brianna, maybe even Summer, also go and be promoted in the women's national team. So, we gotta be prepared for that as well.
I agree with all of that. I think Summer Yates is super exciting young talent, and I can't wait to see. how she's gonna develop and grow. And I think that Marta is just the perfect like master, perfect Yoda to her, whatever you want to say in that scenario. Ali Watt, I think I agree, Luis. She's not the finishing isn't always there, but in Seb's tactic, like we're talking about, she does a great job in that nine
Hmm.
role. So I think she's an incredible like squad player, team player. I think she's always there to do what's needed for the squad, but not necessarily like a star striker that you can rely on for a huge amount of goals. It's just my honest opinion of Ali, but I love her. I love her attitude. I think she's got an incredible attitude. Sky
Sky
Dream
Dream
Production. Sorry, you go, buddy.
I laugh at the guys in the discussion group when they say it's boring. I don't know how you could say these games are boring. So honest with you, sometimes the women's games they have more grit. I agree with you, and
Yep.
I mean the way I see it is soccer is a global sport, and there's really no gender. We
I
have
I
two.
love the
We have two teams in Orlando.
I love the level of I think like he's saying grit there. There's a certain amount of just like
Yeah,
determination I see from the way
for
that the
sure.
female athletes compete with each other. I also love when they celebrate, they all just like hug each other in one giant group. It's a lot more like it's nice the guys kind of do that, but it just looks a lot more unified.
It'd be cool to see some
When the
celebrations
Pride do
though.
it. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's really exciting. And I agree with Sky Dream. I think that it's like anything. It's the same way I react to people when they say like, "Oh, I don't watch MLS because I only watch Premier League." I'll be like, "Okay, like, stop
All
being a
right,
soccer
man.
snob. That's that's your opinion. Fine. Yes, I understand there's different levels of quality of soccer for sure, but that doesn't mean it's not enjoyable. If that were the case, then no one would ever go and watch, very low league, minor league soccer. But all over many countries of this world, people go watch tiny, tiny teams that play very, very poor level of soccer, really quality wise, but they love it because it's still entertaining. And I think that the Pride is very good quality. I'm not saying they're bad quality at all. And I think NWSL is a very quick growing league. There was an article the other day on the Athletic, Luis, about how fast the NWSL is growing. So in global soccer, it's fighting to still be like one of the top leagues in women's soccer in the world. So
Yeah,
it's an
it'd
exciting
be
league for
cool.
Pride to be in.
It'd be cool to see a Club World Cup for for women's soccer
I'd love
and
to
for the
see
end.
it like
And,
Pride versus Barca or something.
Barcelona. Yeah, that's
Chelsea.
exactly.
See, that's
You
me on
know.
that's me on
Yeah.
FIFA. I'm on seasons playing Pride,
Yeah.
and everyone
Exactly.
else is playing Chelsea or Barcelona.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is so boring, guys. I
Yeah.
beat them. I beat them with Pride just to laugh in their faces. But
That
there you
I would
go.
love that. For them to face and also do prior, off season. I mean, I'm getting too ahead, and again, it's not of my, it's not a part of my, of what I do, but it would be cool to see, the pride to take the NWSL right to parts that they've never been before, like, and also mm, help young women athletes in other countries, when their leagues are kind of underdeveloped, and say, hey, this is our model, try it out, and kind of be one of those, be an influential league all over the world, right? In South America, for example, there's a huge market for women's soccer right now, with the Colombian league being really good. Some other players, they had a player going from Colombia to Chelsea, um, and also in Brazil, in Peru, right now, the under 20s in Peru for the first time qualified to the final six to go to the Olympics. So I mean, let's see. It's developing tremendously. But to me, there's no distinction. When I cover City and Pride, to me is almost pretty much just two different teams, and it's the same sport. So I treat it exactly the same. So
I think so too, Luis, and that's why we're here covering the Pride, giving them the same coverage that we do for Orlando City because we want to treat it the same way. Let's move on to Washington Spirit. I just noticed I missed the N in Washington in my notes. That's really annoying. Washington Spirit, Luis. We're gonna play them on Friday night. It's gonna be on Bally Sports Local or NWSL Plus. Um, this is a big, big game. This is the hardest team we've faced so far this year. I say without a doubt. And it's really going to be a double back-to-back test because after we play Washington Spirit on Friday, I believe it's Wednesday, right, Luis? We play North Carolina Courage, or is it
Yeah.
the following Saturday?
Hold on.
I
I
gotta check.
believe so.
But we've got back-to-back games against second
Yeah.
and
So April 26th we faced the Spirit, and then May 1st, Wednesday, yeah, we
yeah.
faced
So
the Courage.
Friday against the Washington Spirit, the second in the league, and then Wednesday against North Carolina Courage, sort of fourth in the league, just above us, also on 9 points, who also started the season very well. So, first, the Spirit on Friday. They've won their last four matches, Luis. I consider this a top
Yeah.
team in NWSL. I consider this a potential winner of the whole league this year, NWSL Cup winner potentially. So this is a big test for us. What do you think we need to do? And again, we're on the road, so what do we need to do on the road to go and steal a point? I think I'd be happy with a point, but maybe we could steal all three. And how would we do that?
So we need to have a similar lineup as we did, um, and do that defensive press that we did against San Diego. Maintain that for 90 minutes. They have exciting players like, Trinity Rodman, Bethune, Hatch, right? Also, Hirschfeld and Sar right up top. So Sar is actually doing really good as well. So I feel they beat with authority. They beat Gotham, one of the top teams in the NWSL also. But I feel like they are a kind of like a short team. So let's say, for example, Hatch gets injured, God forbid, their backups are not maybe as Ashley Hatch would do, uh, at the level, and that's our advantage. I think that we have a bigger squad. We have a lot of plug and play pieces for Seb. So if let's say Julie Dole's not working out, you got La Roquette, making a boom, making a huge impact. You have all these dynamic players on the bench as well that are able to perform. Um, but I think defensively we need to be on point. So Brianna and Carrie again, they need to have an A game. If Seb's going to continue with this back four, I feel that we may see, and this is just my opinion. We'll discuss the lineup later, but I feel maybe we see Rafa in this game. We may, right? Unless Seb wants to ease her in as a second half, that could also be an option. But overall, I think we need to continue be defensively sound and just going off the counter. If we're gonna go ahead and play them, and go into their turf and expect to just pass the ball around 468 times and dominate possession, I think they have the players that could kill us. So we just need to be defensively sound. We get a little bit conservative when it comes to our play, and then attack them off the counter. That's just my opinion. What do you think, John?
I agree. I think our biggest strength in this one, Luis, is our defensive prowess. We've only conceded 4 goals this season,
Yeah.
the same as Washington Spirit. Those conceded 4 goals. We've had a couple shutouts. I think that we gotta rely on a little bit on and I don't know exactly who's going to start, but Emily Sams had an incredible game last game. I think she should be in there regardless of whether it's Happel or Kylie Strom next to her. Um, but her and Carrie Bello and Brianna, we need them again, just like we did last match. So just like that first half against San Diego Wave, we need to see a really strong defensive performance because Trinity Rodman, Croy Bethune, these are two, I think, of two of the
Hmm.
best attacking mids in the league. Trinity Rodman, especially, everybody knows her skills for the national team, but she's been turning it on, like really been in great form since she joined Washington Spirit this year. And Croy Bethune was, I believe, drafted this year and just looks like an insane young talent, sort of Ali Lemos esque, sort of Summer Yates esque in that way. Just a young attacking mid that can the ball can run through her, play through her as well. And they've got so many other assets, as we know. In goal is familiar face Luis there, Aubrey Kingsbury,
Yeah.
ex Pride. I couldn't see any other ex Pride. I think that was the only one, but you might know better than me. Uh, I think just overall, we didn't talk about Sar up front and Hatch and Hirschfeld, and they've got a an all
Yeah, they're
round
stacked.
strong Kruger, Casey Kruger, U.S. national team left back.
Yeah.
It's There's a lot of assets on this team. I think it's going to be a bigger challenge than we faced so far,
Yeah.
but based on our performance last game against the Wave, we couldn't be playing them at a better time, if that makes sense. We're going into this game with a lot of confidence, with all of our players back. You know, I think that this is the right time for this challenge if you got to play them. Like, it's not like we're gonna have to play them after losing two in a row.
Yeah, I mean, this is another challenge for Carrie Bello and Brianna Martinez if Sab maintains the same back four. I think this is going to be. We got to be very careful also with the cards because Trinity Rodman, Bethune, they like to look for contact, especially Trinity. And we've had Kylie Strom being sent off before, so we gotta be careful. We gotta be sound on how we're defending also. So it's gonna be a real test for our young core. It's definitely gonna be the real test to me. If they pass this with flying colors, then we get the win. I mean, we are definitely. I could tell you, we're here to go get the cup. Like if we beat Washington, I know
Woo.
it's a long season, but I mean, you're defeating the best team in the NWSL right now, right?
I think
So
Casey Current would have an argument and say they're better, but I do believe Washington Spirit are definitely a top contender. I think there's a lot of similarities between this game and the Chicago Red Stars game, Luis, where we got the 1-1. Chicago Red Stars got similar sort of attacking mids. They got like Mallory Swanson up front, a lot of like national team stars on the roster. And we managed to deal with them pretty well. Like, we had a good defensive game. We shut them down. They managed to get one goal, but if we can do something similar here against this team, against the Spirit, then I think we can get out of there at least with a draw and maybe even steal it if we manage to get a late goal or something. But if we can keep them to one or even a clean sheet, then we have a real chance of getting a result out of this game.
oh, for sure. I think you know if we get a draw or a win, I mean it's gonna be amazing. I mean it's gonna give this team huge momentum and deservingly so, in my opinion. I mean, every single player in our squad is performing 10 out of 10. So we got to maintain and be consistent. We already proved it against the Wave. We got to now do it against Washington. So let's go.
I'm just gonna share my screen for a second, Luis, just to show you
Yeah, sure.
something. Let's see. Alrighty. So I want to show you. So this was a Pride preseason depth chart that I made,
Could
just to
you
give you
could
an idea.
you zoom in a little bit more?
Zoom in a little bit more. Okay, hold on one second. How do I do that? How do I zoom, Luis? I'm being stupid. Zoomy zoom.
Uh, I think right there next to this is 100%.
Yeah, here we go.
Put it. Okay,
There we go. We'll go up a little bit.
there you go.
So for those of you who want to see, and so those of you who are listening at home, so in Pride, we kind of showed this in preseason, if you remember, Luis.
Yeah, for
This
Orlando
is sort
City
of
as well.
this is where we were at um, preseason, and right, we didn't have that striker up there at the number 9. We had like lists of players of like who's going to play where. We talk about that versatility. We didn't really know. We've got players at different positions. Like we got the team is we were guessing a lot of this here, and then I kind of updated it today to go in and say, okay, the last sort of like 5 games in, like where are we at? Who's still playing where? We added Barbara Banda in there. Uh, Looked at some decisions of like, okay, Carrie Bello is probably going to be the main left back over Haley McCutcheon. Uh, but there's some still some question marks here, Luis. Like we've got players we haven't seen yet. It's like we've got Evelina I've taken out of here because we haven't seen her yet. We haven't seen Sophia Mana yet. Talia Grabara, I think I guess we didn't pick her up. Alex Kerr,
Yeah.
we haven't seen her yet. There's some
She's been in
season
practice.
she's been in practice. We haven't seen her on the field yet. There's been some season ending injuries as well in there. So it's it's changed a lot. I'll say that. Since what we thought at the beginning of the season, and there's been some surprises, and a lot of different than what we were expecting, but I think a lot of good different. And I think that this team is now really starting to look like it's going to look going into the later season and the playoffs. Do you agree? Do you think we're kind of developing who's best where and how we're going to look?
Yeah, I mean, not only that, depending on the opponent, Angelina, you have her as a D mid. She could go to right wing.
Yep. I
Same
mean,
with
that's
same,
sort of the
same with
thing.
that. Yeah, same with Adriana. She could be dropped as a 10 or as an attack or as a 9. So the versatility that they could place multiple positions in defense and in attack, it's I think our biggest weapon. Are the unpredictability on how maybe Laro may do on the right, or Laro may do as a 10, or Luana playing D mid, or maybe Luana playing as a center back at some point. Like that versatility, it's what's going to, you know, it's gonna we're not a one sided team anymore. That here Haley, you've seen it with Haley, you've seen it with Brianna, we've
Yep.
seen it even with Kylie and with Carrie. So I mean, it's just so much versatility, so much movement, and even the three in the middle.
Yep.
If let's say we start with Marta, Adriana, and then we start with on the left with maybe let's say Julie Doyle, those three may switch in transition, right? It throws off the defense on the other end, and then we have a chance to score. So I think the pieces are there, and we just gotta make it work and keep making. Right now, it's working fine. We just need to work on our finishing. I believe.
I mean, I had to simplify this, so that gives you an idea because there were so many endless possibilities of who can play where. So just to give you an idea, Luis, let's do a quick lineup for us. Who do you think we're gonna get in this? We have a back four. I think there's a question mark over Hafa, whether she's gonna come back in for this
Yeah,
Spirit game. We've got more health again, I'm sure, in goal. I'm guessing Carriabello at left back. I think Brianna Martinez now seems to be the first choice right back, but it could change. That might not be 100%. And then Emily Sams, I believe, should keep her spot. As a question mark over whether you keep Kylie Strom, who I do think is playing very well as a left-sided center
Yeah.
back, or whether you bring Hoffa back in immediately. We did see Hoffa
Well,
come on in the game last match, but
I'll keep the same back four in my opinion.
I agree. I think Kylie's been doing a very good job, and I think Hoffa, as good as she is, it might be a little. Maybe she's not quite ready to be thrown directly into the starting lineup yet.
Plus, I
We'll
feel
see.
Kylie has. Plus, I feel Kylie has more speed than Rafa, and coming with Trinity Rodman. Now, this is one thing with Trinity Rodman. Kylie needs to be ready to be aggressive defending, but no overly aggressive because she's gotten red cards because of it before. So with Trinity Rodman, Rodman is going to try to nutmeg you, go on the 1v1. He's going to try to impose her physicality. Maybe Rafa right there, it's the ideal, but Rafa, it's not as fast as Kylie, right? So I think you need to match that. Now, also, you're going to have Avello, right? So Avello and Kylie are going to have the biggest task, in my opinion, of the defense, right? With Trinity Rodman. So, but I'm content with the back four right here, John.
And then in front of the back four, I'm going to say Angelina and Morgan.
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure why Morgan didn't get the start in the last game. I think Haley had a great game there. Maybe that was just the
Mm-hmm.
choice. He wanted Haley over Morgan, but I think for this one, we still haven't seen if Luana's back yet. So I think Angelina Morgan makes sense. And then you're gonna go with, I think, Summer in the 10. I mean, it doesn't matter too much. Like we said, they're
Oh,
gonna move
Summer.
around. Summer and Marta. I think the other one will be Adriana or Julie Doyle.
Well, I mean, Adriana came a little,
I think Julie Doyle played a very good game last week.
yeah,
I would be encouraged to keep Julie Doyle on the field
yeah.
again.
So let's put Doyle here.
Yep. And then Summer is your other attacking mid, whether she's at the 10 or Marta. I think both of those are in the starting lineup now.
So you're gonna put some. So it's gonna be like what, like a 4-4-2.
No, I think it's a 4-2-3-1. It doesn't matter. I think we said like Marta or Summer can be in either position. But they
So
both will
Summer's
start, I
so
think.
Summer's gonna be on the left.
Yeah. Or Marta on the left and Summer in the 10. It doesn't matter too much. I think Barbara is probably going to get the start.
Okay.
I think after
Yeah,
a
yeah.
week, I think Seb will feel that after a week and she will be
I
keen
think
to.
Banda's gonna go up top.
I think so.
Yeah. So this, I mean, this is a stacked lineup right here.
And you've
Morehouse up
got,
top. You got Morehouse, Brianna, Sams, Callie, Stromabello. You got Angelina, Morgan, Marta, and you got Doyle, Summer, Yates, and then Barbara Banda. That's great, man. And then on your bench you have Haley McCutcheon, change of pace player. You have Rafa. You have Ali Watt. you
Adriana.
know, you have Adriana if she feels if she's not injured, right?
Yeah.
You have, yeah. So I mean,
You got
that's
Lara
depth
Cat,
right
who
there.
still can
La
see some
Roquette,
minutes. I mean, we've got players, like we said, we
yeah.
haven't even seen yet. So Ali Lemos
Yeah.
came on again last game.
Ale Lemos, yeah.
Yeah. Celia.
Yeah, Celia as
Don't forget
well,
about
yeah.
Celia.
So it's gonna be.
So
I mean, we have a lot of pieces that Seb could plug and play, man. It's like Joshua Tall said, this. I think it's a really decent lineup. Pride versus Brazil, and we keep a Brazilian player. Says Skydream Productions. There you go.
Uh, the rotation might be needed, Luis, for our next Tuesday. We'll have an exciting time because we'll already have the game to look at like this one, but then we'll be previewing the game that's going to happen on Wednesday against the North Carolina Courage. So potentially there's going to be some rotation needed with a Wednesday Saturday lineup. We'll have to see. But for right now, I think with a full week of rest, this is this is a strong lineup to go with.
Yeah, Kim Scott on Instagram says, I predict Banda scores or at least assists in the Washington game. I agree.
Let's
I
go,
want to see her
Kim.
score.
Get that. We
Let's
need a goal straight away
yeah,
from
we
Barbara, please.
yeah, we need a brace, man, or a hat trick. You imagine if he scores a hat trick? Man, I'll go crazy.
I think she's after another week of training, I think she's gonna look even better in purple.
Yep. Definitely exciting times, man.
Well, Luis, I think that's about everything we're gonna talk about today with Pride. Look out for tomorrow. We're gonna have an exciting new thing happening that was announced today with the
Yep.
Zoneheads Orlando podcast. That's going to be released. More information will be posted by us
On
tomorrow
Instagram
on Instagram and social media on that. So
and
check that out.
Twitter as
But
well.
that's
Yeah.
an exciting new opportunity for us. As always, you can support Loud and Proud Orlando by subscribing to us on YouTube. We do City Pod live on Monday and Thursday nights, and then Pride Pod, this one here, live on Tuesday nights. You can listen to us later on Spotify or Apple Music. And we also have a Spanish language podcast that Paula does called Tiro de Esquina podcast. So go check that out if you want some Spanish content. Social media, you can find us at LPO on X or Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and on Facebook as Loud and Proud Orlando. Join us on Thursday, like I mentioned, to preview the next Orlando City game. This one, Luis, I'm excited, ready for Washington. Big
No, I
test on
know.
Friday. So
Big test on Friday, but I'm truly sure that they're gonna definitely do their best. So exciting
yeah,
times for the Pride.
get your orange ready. I feel
I
like I need
know.
a lucky orange to watch the games
They
with.
gotta get a orange hat. That way I could.
I need we need to get you like a hat that looks like an orange, Luis. That would be good. I think you'd wear that.
There you go, for sure.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for leaving your comments. And as always, Vamos Pride.
Vamos Pride. Take care, guys.